I am looking at a waterfall surrounded by stone. The first thing I notice is the contrast. The water is bright, blue, clean, almost glowing. Everything around it feels rough and dry. The canyon walls are filled with texture. Layers of rock rise high above the water, creating a space that feels enclosed, heavy, ancient. The waterfall cuts directly through that heaviness. It falls with force, straight down. The movement is constant. There is no pause, no hesitation. The water crashes into the pool below and immediately continues outward, flowing between the rocks and trees. Nothing about it feels still. Even in a single image, the movement is obvious. The water creates energy inside a place that otherwise feels frozen in time. The cliffs look old, unchanging, like they have stood there forever. But the water slowly changes them. Every second, every drop matters. The pool below the waterfall is calm compared to the fall itself. The surface is smoother, lighter. It reflects the sky. But even there, movement exists. The water circles outward from the impact point, expanding, never truly resting. The color of the pool draws attention immediately. Bright turquoise. It almost looks unreal compared to the earthy tones around it. The canyon is filled with brown, red, and dark green colors. Natural, muted. Then the water appears almost electric. It becomes the center of everything. The eye always returns to it. I begin to notice the trees around the water. They grow close to the edges. Some lean toward the river. Others stand quietly beside the cliffs. The greenery softens the image slightly. Without it, the place would feel harsher, more isolated. The trees create balance between the rock and the water, life between pressure and movement. The canyon itself feels deep. The walls rise upward in every direction. There is very little sky visible. That makes the waterfall feel hidden, protected, like this place exists far away from cities or noise. It feels untouched, not empty, but distant. The rocks show signs of erosion, small cracks, uneven surfaces, sharp edges mixed with smoother areas. The water has shaped this place for a very long time, not through violence, but through repetition, continuous motion. The waterfall does not need to move fast to create change. It only needs to continue. That is what makes it powerful. Consistency. I start to feel how small a person would look here. The cliffs dominate everything. The waterfall itself is large, but the canyon makes it feel even bigger. The scale creates a sense of humility. This place does not feel designed for humans. It exists on its own terms. The water continues whether anyone watches it or not. That idea changes the feeling of the image. It becomes less about beauty, more about permanence. The waterfall is beautiful, but it also feels indifferent. It does not care who sees it. It simply continues. The sound would probably fill the entire canyon. A constant rushing noise echoing between the cliffs, loud enough to remove silence completely. Yet the image still feels peaceful, not because it is quiet, but because the movement feels natural, expected. There is no chaos here, only force in balance. The closer I look, the more the waterfall feels like the center of the entire landscape. Everything around it reacts to its presence. The river exists because of it. The greenery survives because of it. Even the shapes in the canyon may exist because of years of flowing water. The waterfall creates more than movement. It creates the environment itself. I notice how the water disappears after reaching the bottom. It keeps moving forward, leaving the frame. That makes the image feel unfinished, like this is only one moment in something continuous. The water came from somewhere beyond the top of the cliffs, and it continues somewhere beyond the foreground. The image captures only part of the journey. That gives the scene depth. The canyon walls feel permanent, but the water reminds me that permanence can slowly change. Not immediately, not dramatically, but constantly. The cliffs resist movement. The water accepts it. Yet over enough time, the water wins. That changes the emotional feeling of the image. At first, it looks peaceful, then powerful, then patient. The waterfall does not rush. It does not stop. It simply continues long enough to shape everything around it. The blue water remains the brightest part of the image. Even against the massive cliffs, it attracts attention instantly. It feels alive, almost separate from the landscape around it, like motion inside stillness. The entire place feels balanced between strength and calm. Nothing here feels artificial. Nothing feels controlled. The waterfall follows gravity. The canyon follows time. And together, they create something that feels permanent, even though it is constantly changing.